Hey everyone, Genome here, coming at you with my next Marvel Strike Force video, this one highlighting a legendary character event that is coming right around the corner. That's right, Black Bolt is set to be released any day now, and I meant to shoot this video a while ago, but the cadence with the legendaries got screwed up.
I was not amused.
So I thought I was going to have more time, and then I didn't have more time, so sorry about that. Here's what it is, and I'm going to go over the character with you real quick, and then kind of also tell you how to unlock him in case you're new to that. I'll do that first, so if you want to skip to the video when you see Black Bolt back on the screen, maybe I'll put a timestamp down below. You can shoot to it. So first off, do you want Black Bolt as a newer or mid-game player? Yes, 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 yes. I'd say he's probably the best legendary for you for the early and mid-game. It's pretty hard to argue that. He's useful in every single game mode. Your game will improve dramatically once you get him, and it'll make raids a much more pleasant affair. But before I get into too much of the character breakdown of him, let's go ahead and tell you how you open him. So let's go ahead and get into what it takes.
Take it to him, alien.
Alright, so here's the team you're going to need to unlock in order to unlock Black Bolt. Well, at least they used to be a meta team, so really the only character on this list is still somewhat meta is Hela, but you know, it's been a while since he's been released, right? Over a year. So yeah, Asgardians are a somewhat difficult farm for newer players, but not impossible. The big hang-up once again is going to be Hela, to be honest with you. But Hela is a very, very, very valuable character. She's basically a legendary in her own right. Great character, and she is the roadmap to like 3 different legendaries in this game. 3 really good legendaries too, so she's not to be underestimated. I won't get into it too much, but let's go ahead and tell you how to get to each one of these guys, either farming spot, node, wherever. So first one I'm going to talk about is Loki. He's a Mystic 3/6. This used to be a really difficult node to both get to and to complete, but with the power creep that's in this game nowadays, it's not nearly as bad. Still, it's going to be a little bit longer in your forays into the campaigns that you'll get this as a new player. I'd say probably between 5 and 6 months you should probably be getting this node down, give or take, depending if you do your daily stuff. I'm not talking about spending all that as a free-to-play player. Now, if you're spending a lot faster than that, whatever. So Loki is difficult to get to somewhat for the newer player, not impossible, but at least he has a node, which is a good thing. So that's where you find Loki, Mystic 3/6. Thor, he is both a trickier proposition and a somewhat easier one. He is available in the raid store right away to new players, so make sure you are getting in an alliance at raids, even on the lobby raids, so you can actually get raid credits to spend and buy shards of Thor. He's your #1 priority in the raid store, if you ask me. Outside of maybe Sinister Six character, but that's another thing. We don't really need to farm Sinister 6 in the raid store anymore because Mysterio is on a Heroes node. I think it's Heroes 2, 3. So that's just kind of old information. But anyway, Thor is a great character on 2 different teams, so he's not a terrible unlock anyway. So the new players probably be unlocking him out of the raid store first, but you can farm him on a node, but it's in Hero 7-3. So that's quite a ways in the game, and you're going to be bottlenecked like I am on my other account. By the simple fact, you can't even get into those nodes until like level 70. So you're just going to be sitting there waiting. I've been waiting for like 3 weeks now just to get enough to get into those, nodes, but, it is what it is, whatever. Yeah, so he's in, he has a raid node. He has a campaign node in Hero 7-3, and he's also available in the raid store, so that's how you get Thor. Hela is a campaign node only, unless you get lucky out of orb pulls, right? And she is in Villain 7-6. Very hard to get to, let me tell you that right now. You're going to have to be well into your mid-game forays to be able to get her on farm. The lucky thing, and I've noticed this with almost all of these like really high-end end-game campaign nodes, usually the character nodes that are important, like -3, -6, -9, whatever, they always seem to be a tad easier than the ones that precede it. So if you can get to 7-6, you can probably 3-star much easier than you can the previous nodes, but you're going to need some specific teams to get there. I don't want to go into all this, it can really get long, but needless to say, it's a long way off to farm. So if you are considering buying characters, her deal is always in the, it's pretty often actually in the offer store for $50 or $30 for 50 shards, which is a ripoff, but it's Hela. So you make that call. Whatever the case may be, she can be found on a node, so if you can get to farming that, it's a very big priority especially in your mid-game forays. Sif is a War Store character. Yeah, she's probably the very first War Store character you should be going for, which stinks because she's not a good character, but, you know, you gotta get her. So, yeah, she's a War Store only farm right now, like I said, outside of Lucky Orb pull, so good luck with that, Commander. So you're going to have to spend a lot of war credits on her, which is so sad. So sad, but it is what it is. And finally, we come to Heimdall. Heimdall is probably the easiest farm on this list, even though he is in also a somewhat crowded store, and that's the Arena store, so he's always available from day one. You can start farming him at your leisure. I think after Sinister 6, he should probably be your next farm in the Arena store, at least to 5 stars. So that's it. That's how you. That's all you need to do to open up Black Bolt. Easier said than done, I know, but that's the characters you need. So let's go ahead and get into the character himself, and I'll give you my thoughts on him, and I'll tell you where he excels and all that good stuff. So, as you can see by my gearing and level, I tend to like Black Bolt. I opened him up, and the game changed. I think I opened him up on his 3rd pass. He was a very, very, very difficult open event, because I think he was released like 3 months after the original one. It was so hard to farm Asgardians back then. But, you know, the game's gotten a little bit easier in that regard, so you should probably get him halfway through your mid-game experience, probably, if you're doing all the right things. So, Black Bolt, he is a killing machine. If you got red stars, dump him on, if you have the choice, dump him on Black Bolt. He really comes alive with red stars. You need him at high red stars, because all he is damage. Unless he's on a Inhumans team, then he has a few other things with his passive, right? And it's big health, big resistance, and all that. But really, he is just a battering ram of a character. Damage, damage, damage. That's it. And there's some actually debuffing. There's a little bit of actual strategy to this guy, but let's get into it real fast. Striker ISO, I might take him into 5 eventually once I got some laying around, but it's more important to have a wider ISO roster than it is to have a 1 max character. So it's basically just Striker on this guy all day long, keep pumping up that raw damage. Like I said, he excels with red stars, so the more red stars you can put into him, he's one of the few that I actually would probably recommend to take to 7 reds if you get the opportunity, which I did, and I really haven't regretted it. Now, he may fall off some in later stuff. We're still, you know, doing U7-1 or .1 or whatever, so, you know, he may fall off somewhat depending on what teams you're using. Like, if you get a full symbiotes team or something, you probably just go with that, but, I mean, he's so versatile. He's plug and play. He fits in everywhere. If you need some extra damage, this is the guy I usually put in there. It's almost, unless there's some other synergy that just is too good to ignore, this is the guy I usually put in there. He's basically the best in the game at doing it, and that's what he's for. So, Black Bolt. He's really great in Arena. He basically pushed Ultron right on out, because he's a direct counter to Ultron, and he just shreds anything with Ultron on it. It's basically 4 or 5 versus 4 if they have an Ultron on their team. Usually he can one-shot him at the very beginning unless something has come up, right? So he's really good until you start getting into the all-black order stuff in the top 100 or so of your Arena shard. He's really good in war. He fits well on his own team. He fits well on a jack-of-all-trades team. He's good in that note. He is absolutely incredible in raids. More on that in just a second. Blitz, everything's good in Blitz, so nothing there. Raids, my gosh. It's raiding with him. If you're not using him in raids, like in lanes you can't use him, you just feel so naked without him, man, because he just demolishes raids. My favorite raid team in the entire game has to do with the trifecta. I made videos on this before, of Thanos in one corner, him directly behind Thanos, and then Minerva somewhere on the board. And that's it. And the other 2 characters are usually interchangeable depending on your needs, because Black Bolt's going to do the majority of your damage. Thanos will be constantly pumping in on kills, energy into Black Bolt, so you'll be doing ult after ult after ult. It's devastating. Let me tell you something. I'll see if I can find some footage to maybe put in here, but if not, check out some of my Black Bolt videos from a little bit earlier, and you can see the damage he can do in raids. So it's incredible. But yeah, he's a raid killing machine. A lot of that has to do with his passive. When an enemy drops to do 25% health, he sends out what the community calls the burp. He burps basically a free shot on him, and usually that will take about any character out that's in the red. So he'll just, one of the most satisfying things you can do in this game is to ult, and you'll hit like 6, 7, 8, whoever, how many characters are out there, and it kills all minions almost instantly, of course, unless they have evade. You know, and then you drop like the rest of those guys down to the red, and all of a sudden goes bing, 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 and just picks them all off afterwards. And he picks them off on other characters' turns. If a bleed hits them, like on the enemy turn, he picks them off then. It does not matter. It's an amazing mechanic and very unique, and just makes him a raid god. RTA, of course, he's amazing there. You see him all the time. He's pretty good in Dark Dimension, but like his passive is not nearly as good there because the health pools are so high. A lot of times his burp is not enough to finish him off, but it's great to have extra damage. But a lot of times you'll need a little more synergy, but he's not a bad character using in the Dark Dimensions either. So just basically, long story short, he's great in every single game mode until maybe you get to the super high ranks, right? I'm still using him in DD3, so take that for what it may. Real quick look at his kit. I really like his basic. It's nice. Flipping negative effects on yourself is great, and then you clear positive effects on whatever you're hitting. It's a really strong basic, and you find yourself using this quite a bit, actually. Yeah, it's great unless you're using some energy battery to pump stuff into him, then you'll be ulting all the time. But this is a very strategic thing because, like, especially in raids, you'll find a lot of the non-sticky taunts like Drax in there or Shield Security, you know, guys like that. And this will usually strip the taunt on them if they don't have too many buffs up. So it's an amazing hit. It does a lot of damage, of course, and it's as you can see, I T4'd everything of his just because it just keeps pumping up his damage, and that's what he's all about. Staggering Voice is just a single target nuke. And it's extremely valuable for some things. When something absolutely has to die this turn before they let something off, you know, this is the thing you usually use. This is especially strong against things with dodge or, you know, evade that are up. And dodgy characters like Spider-Man, Miles, Vision. And you are sick of fighting these guys, and this will one-shot them because it's going to hit them. Yeah, so it's a strategic thing. So you don't always use this on cooldown, right? It's a lot of times you need to say this when it's important because usually its basic is plenty enough, you know. But anyway, and finally his ultimate, just one big tidal wave of damage. It does disgusting amounts of damage, especially at high red stars, and it's your bread and butter in certain team makeups. So use it and abuse it. It's a great move. So yeah, that's Black Bolt in a nutshell. He is a powerhouse, and he will change the way you play this game in many facets, right? He's good at, like, unlike a lot of like legendaries, he's really good off of his team. He's a great plug and play character anywhere, and I definitely highly recommend the newer player go for him. Now, this is not going to be easy. Like I said, he's locked behind it. It used to be a pretty good paywall, but now it's still not easy. A lot of in-game farms here, but it is feasible if you're building your roster correctly. If you're not wasting resources in fruitless endeavors, and you're chasing the goal and sticking with it, you can unlock him. I don't know. Let's just say probably 7-8 months after you start this game, maybe a little earlier, and then even earlier than that if you decide to pay for money, or pay for, you know, or buy stuff in this game. In other words, a little tongue-tied there. If you're gonna buy stuff, there's a lot worse characters to go for than Asgardian, so you can get this guy. That's what makes the Asgardians good, and it's just this guy. He has another kind of hidden value too. It's not really hidden anymore. Is the fact that he is directly required to unlock another great legendary, and that's Ebony Maw. You cannot unlock Ebony Maw without him, so you can't just take 5 Inhumans in there. You just got to be Black Bolt and 4 other Inhumans. So that's something else to note too. So you want to get this guy up, and you want to get him at 7 stars. So I think, I mean, once you're a newer player, once you get him at 5 stars, you can stop there and work on other important things. But when the time comes that you have a little bit of wiggle room there, it would not hurt to get this guy to 7 stars because he works so well at high star levels. That's really where he shines. So I don't think you'd be disappointed in him. I wholeheartedly recommend this guy to all players who don't have them, and it will definitely make you laugh at Ultron teams and maybe even Doom. I haven't ran across Doom yet, even in RTA, but he's kind of tailor-made for Doom too. So yeah, that's it. Black Bolt in a nutshell. He's great. He's amazing. Get him as soon as you can. He's, I should say, your third most important, or he should probably be your third unlock as far as legendaries go as a newer player. You know, Shuri, Invisible Woman, and try to get Black Bolt if you possibly can. So there it is. Let me know in the comments below if you have him, what it's like to use, so other people who maybe watch this and haven't got to use him, let him, you know, they can find out how awesome he really is. He's not all hype. He's great, and I don't know. Just go get him as soon as you can. So anyway, thanks for watching. Until next time, this is Genome. Just loving him the Black Bolt tidal wave. Out.